Good evening, PEL fans. Commissioner Ace Coach 704 PEL Primetime Elite League, and I am trying to get this thing set up for everybody so I can get started here on the show. And I am alerting everyone. Alright, so this is PEL Live, and we are looking at what's been going on in the league. It's going to be an extended show because I have been really behind in doing a lot of stuff. And we're going to look at the games that have been played. Excuse me, bear with me. I'm fighting a little bit of a cold. We're going to look at the games that have been played. We're going to look at some trades, standings, and then we'll finish up with power rankings. So this is going to be a jam-packed PEL Live tonight. Alright, first game that's been played this week. The Chiefs defeated the Eagles 28-14. Pretty even game stat-wise, but once again, the turnover battle. 4 turnovers for the Eagles, only 1 for the Chiefs. Real quick through the stats, Mahomes had a great game. My goodness, 4 touchdowns, 296 passing. McMillan with 3 interceptions is not very good. Decent run games for both teams there. Landry, 4 for 136, the big receiver there. And defensively, we had several sacks for the Eagles. Good gracious. And then we had a couple different guys with interceptions right there. Good win for the Chiefs. We got the Broncos defeating the Chargers 17-16 in a mild surprise. Seeing the Broncos come back in the second half with 17 points as the Chargers led 9-0 at the half. Broncos with the good run game, but the Chargers with the good passing game. Once again, turnover battles, 4 for the Chargers, only 2 for the Broncos. Now, your rookie quarterback Stout throwing for 311, but 3 interceptions obviously cost his team big time. Oh, God, 2 for 79. That's a pretty good average. Touchdown for Travion Williams, and then Nick Chubb did well, too, 9 for 73 on the ground. Keenan Allen, big game, 5 for 110, and then Cortland Sutton, 3 for 96 for the Broncos. And then defensively standing out, we had a couple guys with 1.5 sacks. Chargers, Malik McDowell, Joey Bosa. And then picking the ball off, we had several on both sides there, but that's a big win for the Broncos. We'll see how they shape up in the standings a little bit later. Rams over the 49ers 24-3. Interesting thing here, the 49ers really dominated the yardage here in this game, but good Lord, 7 turnovers. I guess you don't need a lot of yards. Only 29 passing yards, but wow. Well, let's take a look at this. Garoppolo throwing 7 interceptions. That'll get you every time. Goff, 2 touchdowns, 4 of 11 for 29 yards. That's an interesting stat line there. Gurley with a big game, 111 on the ground. Ballage doing well with 71, 5.5 yards a carry. Not bad. Corey Davis, 5 for 108. Good free agent signing there for the 49ers. And then defensively, we'll see who had all these interceptions. Only 1 sack, but see, Babyface Thompson, 3 interceptions. One of those rookie storyline players is developing well out in Los Angeles. That's another good win for the LA Rams, the defending Super Bowl champions. Minnesota over the Arizona Cardinals, 31-10. Watched a little bit of this game. Not a lot of turnovers, but I think the Vikings had some really big plays. Well, 2 rushing yards, 348. Well, the Cardinals did make them one-dimensional, but you got to stop that one dimension when that happens. And Jim Kiper with a perfect quarterback rating. Probably will be player of the week. Yeah, I got a cold. I said that early in the beginning. I'm fighting it a little bit, but not too bad, so I can get through this. Not many rushing yards there. Johnson did get the lion's share in the game. Receiving, DJ Moore with a huge game, 6 for 213 and a touchdown. Be candidate for player of the week. And then defensively standing out, looks like Danielle Hunter had a couple sacks and a couple interceptions there for the Vikings, but big win for them. I think they still lead the North. We'll see here in a minute. And then the Panthers defeating the Buccaneers 40-14. We got off to a really good start, and it was pretty much over at halftime. Second half was pretty even, but we did some different things. Took some players out. He had 4 turnovers, a couple of tough breaks. Derek Carr had a really good game, 3 touchdowns. He was efficient, 11 of 15 for 200. Stafford threw 1 interception. He got taken out the game, and then the young kid came in there and threw it around a little bit. I think he'll end up being pretty good. We did a pretty good job on the ground between McCaffrey and Lawrence. Got that going a little bit. Diggs with a big game, 5 for 117 to touch. Nelson was the big guy for them, 4 for 125, 2 touchdowns. We were trying to take away Tyreek Hill a lot, and they got a lot of speed, so you can't cover everybody. Sacks, Taquan Lewis had 2, and that's funny, those 2 sacks came in the last 2 plays of the game. And then we had a couple interceptions, Dante, the young free safety Reed, and Zaire Franklin. So it was a good win for us, across the board there. All right, so those are the games that have been played so far this week. We'll take a look at the standings, and we'll kind of go through and see where everyone's at. First time this year we're doing it, so it's going to take a little bit of time, but not too much. All right, in the AFC North, we got the Ravens at 3-0, the Browns at 3-1, Bengals 1-3, and the Steelers 0-4. Feel like it's a 2-team race between the Ravens and the Browns here. Bengals have kind of regressed a little bit since a good season last year. And then the Steelers just continue to struggle, man. Just got to, number one, play more. Because forced losses are not helping. But, they still have some talent on that team over there in Pittsburgh. All right, AFC South, we got the Texans at 4-0. Jags 3-1, Titans 3-1, Colts 2-1. It's the toughest division as far as, the best players go in the league, I would say, by division. It's going to be a hell of a fight, all the way, for 17 weeks in this division. Especially with Scooby back and playing regularly, even though his team is not that great overall. He's that good of a player to make them competitive. So it's going to be a hell of a fight between those 4 teams. And, one of them is going to miss the playoffs. They have 2 wild card teams in the conference. So, I don't know who it'll be, but that's going to be a fun race to watch as always. AFC East, you got the Jets on top at 3-1, the Dolphins at 2-2, the Bills 1-3, and the Patriots 0-4. The Jets leading the division, we've been saying, we're watching these guys and they've been building it slowly, and now they're in a place that, they could win this division, if they keep it up and be consistent. The Dolphins at 2-2 is a little bit surprised, but they've played some tough teams early on. I know they're playing some teams from the South. And that's going to hurt your record a little bit, but that all balances out when you get back in the division. The Bills at 1-3, they've played, better. They've made a couple of trades that have been interesting, but overall, I think it's helped the roster, even though you trade some guys that, some of us may not have traded, but, we allow, to build your team and your vision here, so. As long as it's not insanely lopsided, then we pretty much let it go. And we have a guy for the Patriots, but for some reason he hadn't joined, and he's got this week to join. And, if he doesn't join by this week, we're going to move on because we have someone else interested as well. So hopefully we'll get someone on the Patriots here. If not this week, definitely by next week. So let's just hang in there. But right now we got everyone accounted for in the league, which is, awesome in Season 4. And thank you guys for that. In the AFC West, this is going to be an interesting division. Look at this. The Chargers are 3-2, Chiefs 3-1, Raiders 2-2, and the Broncos are 2-3. The Broncos just defeated the Chargers, which I think really kind of flipped things on its head in this division. The Broncos, as y'all know that we're here in Madden 18, they're perennially a 10-11 win player, so I'm not surprised that they won that game. Chargers, Deontay's a really good player, but, kind of like Scooby, that team kind of fell down a little bit when they were gone in their transition. So, still going to be there in the end. The Chiefs also have a lot of talent on that team at 3-1. I think they defeated the Broncos earlier this year, so everyone's kind of beating up on everyone in this division. And the Raiders at 2-2, they played better. They blew out the Steelers, which, you know, is not saying a lot, but they blew them out. So, you know, that's showing progress for the Raiders as well. So this is going to be another division to watch. And I don't know who's going to win it. I think everyone is in it, and everyone's going to have a chance to be in it, you know, for 17 weeks. I see some comments over there on the side. Wilkes will be fired before the end of the week. Well, he got fired in real life, so you might as well go ahead and just fire him, Cody. I like him. He was a defense coordinator with the Panthers. That's how he got that job, but hell, we'll take his ass back here in a minute. And I see the Rams are watching. I broke down your game a little earlier. If you want to scroll back and watch that in the playback. Let's jump to the NFC. And in the NFC North, the Vikings are 4-1 as they have consistently ruled this division, you know, in Madden 19. But I think they got some competition this year. The Packers are 2-1, and they're a very good team overall. They've got a lot of good talent, especially those three corners on defense. Marquise Brown has developed into a good player. You know, if a Gabe can play consistently, you know, he can push the Vikings for this division. Bears at 1-3 having some issues on defense, and then the Lions at 0-4 have just had issues playing consistent games. So we'll see how this shakes out. Right now, it's looking like a two-team race between the Packers and the Vikings. If a Gabe can stay consistent in playing games and winning, of course. NFC South, well, this is another one that's been interesting. The Bucks at 2-3, they've lost 3 in a row. They got off to a 2-0 start. I talked to him a little bit, and he said that he put together a custom playbook after starting 2-0. He switched to the custom playbook, went 0-3 since then. So I suggested you get rid of the custom playbook, and that's what he's gonna do. The Saints at 2-2, always tough to play. Lost one of my games to him. Panthers at 3-2. We're playing well going into a bye, of course. Then the Falcons at 1-3. You see, the one thing in this division, you got good defense pretty much across the board, but the offenses, you know, outside the Panthers, you know, are kind of struggling a little bit. But you know, the thing about these guys, all of us in the division know each other pretty well. So the interdivisional games are always tough. And, you know, it's going to be another tough race. And I've won it 3 years in a row, but, you know, you never know. I got some guys getting older, and, you know, we got to avoid injuries. I already got a strong safety out for 7 weeks now. So we're trying to shuffle things around and stay competitive. NFC East, the Redskins 4-0. Been a little bit of a surprise here. This was the Giants division last year, but the Redskins off to a hot start and really powered by the defense, only giving up 43 points in 4 games. Cowboys 3-1. You know, I said Lee would bounce back at the end of last season, and he's doing that. Giants at 2-2. Scoring a good bit, but giving up a good bit also. And then the Eagles at 1-4. Defense, they got to find a way to slow some people down. They just traded their top corner. I guess they're going young and trying to build once again. So, interesting division, the way it's shaking out through the first quarter of the season. We'll see if these trends continue here. Cowboys made a trade with me for Chris Conley, so obviously they feel pretty good about where they're going. Redskins are playing the young quarterback and, you know, throwing the ball deep like they always do and trying to blitz and everything. I think it's a 3-team race. You know, the Eagles giving up their top corner. I think they're kind of punting on the season already. And then the NFC West, you got the Rams at 4-1. They had a big win over the Seahawks earlier this season. Seahawks at 2-2. 49ers 1-4, and the Cardinals 0-5. Cardinals are selling players, so if you're interested, I know he's looking for compensation for certain players. 49ers, I don't think they're there yet, but you see the issues, offense for both of these guys. Only 50 points scored in 5 games. Seahawks will be there. Really good squad. Pretty good player. And then the Super Bowl champion Rams will be there once again, of course, also. So that's where we are standings-wise in the league. Take a look at some trades. And this is going to take a little while because we've had a number of trades that have happened since we last talked. All right, so let's scroll down a little bit and let's see the last thing we talked about here. This is going to take a while. All right, we'll just do all of them. All right. Eagles trade Eric Armstead to the Jags. Jags trade Malcolm Mitchell to the Eagles. And a 4th round pick. They're all average players right there. I'm assuming the Jags needed another D tackle, which I don't know why, because they got like 999s over there. But, Mitchell is a decent receiver, and the 4th round pick's a kicker for Armstead, who's probably just playing rotation. So I don't have a problem with that trade. Bucks trade Tyree Cleveland to the Ravens. Bucks trade Sharon Peak to the Ravens. The Ravens trade the Montana Jr. to the Bucks. This was the star development quarterback the Ravens CPU drafted in the last draft, and I believe those 2 receivers are some speed guys. So anytime you get a star development quarterback, and they had Stafford, so I think it was a good move for the Bucks. And then the Ravens got what they wanted, obviously, some more speed in their receiving core. I'm cool with that. Broncos trade Vernon Butler to the 49ers. 49ers trade Nick Martin to the Broncos. And they trade Jerry Tillery to the Broncos. So the Broncos give up Vernon Butler Jr., who's a pass rush D tackle. They get a replacement, and Nick Martin, who's a decent offensive lineman. The Broncos really need the offensive lineman help. So I think both teams did well in this trade right here. Broncos giving up a better D tackle, but getting a replacement and a guy that can help him on the OL. That's cool. Bills trade Seth DeValve to the Jaguars. Jaguars trade Travis Kelce to the Bills. And the Jags trade a 4th round pick. The Bills trade a 2nd round pick to the Jags. I don't know enough about Seth DeValve, but the Bills giving up DeValve and a 2nd, and then the Jags giving up a 4th and Kelce. I would have to look him up to be a little more informed on that. But Kelce was in free agency. The Bills, like I said, have made several trades with the Jags, and they seem to favor high-rated veteran players. So, I'm not surprised with that. Chiefs trade cornerback Tremont Smith to the Buccaneers. Buccaneers trade free safety Glenn Dilger to the Chiefs. Bucks trade a 2nd to the Chiefs. Chiefs trade a 3rd to the Bucks. Looks like a little bit of positional needs here. I guess the Bucks, needed a corner. The Chiefs needed a free safety, and they traded some picks. It looks pretty even. I don't know enough about those players to be really informed on that, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible there. Panthers trade Dexter Riley to the Packers. Packers trade Trey Cortez to the Panthers. And the Packers also trade a 4th round pick. Dexter Riley was just kind of caught up in a numbers game. He's not a bad player. He's got 93 speed, deep threat receiver, but we didn't really need him. Cortez will be a backup tackle, backup both tackle spots for us, and then a 4th rounder. Just kind of evens out the value because Cortez is a little rated lower than Riley. And then the 4th rounder kind of bounces out. So that was our motivation for that deal. Panthers trade Chris Conley to the Cowboys. Cowboys trade Equanimeous St. Brown to the Panthers, and the Cowboys trade a 1st round pick to the Panthers. Everyone knows about that when we post about it in the chat. Conley is a very good player. But we drafted Long Dobbins in the 1st round of the last draft. I want to get him on the field. St. Brown's a scheme fit for us. He's a deep threat 6'5" receiver with 90 speed, 93 acceleration. Fits well for us to develop a little bit. In the event of an injury, Conley will do well for the Cowboys, gives them a number one receiver. And our main motivation was the first round pick. We're going to look at probably a quarterback in case Derek Carr wants too much money. So that was our motivation there. Eagles trade Sidney Jones to the Rams. Rams trade a third and a fifth for him. Fair value. Jones is young. He's got a couple years left on his deal. He'll help them out. As some of their corners are getting a little older in the secondary. And then the Eagles get some picks to continue to build their roster in the way they want to. Then a trade just consummated today. The Cardinals trade outside linebacker Deshae Tofield to the Panthers. And the Panthers trade a second-round pick in the upcoming draft. Tofield is a 6'4" outside backer who is an 81 overall. He's got 85 speed, 85 acceleration. He's got some pass rush moves. And he's got enough coverage that we like, and we need someone on the outside desperately with that kind of skill set. And then a second-round pick for us. We have 2 first-rounders, so, I don't mind giving that up because, I don't think anyone else is going to come in and start for us next year outside of those 2 first. And then, the Cardinals are obviously in a rebuilding mode, so, we're able to help each other out. And Tofield's a rookie, too, so we needed some youth in that linebacking core as well. All right, so that's what was going on with trades. What else did I want to do? Oh, power rankings. That's where we're at. All right, so let's take a look at power rankings and see who is the best and who's the worst. And we're going to break it down by the win totals here. So, between the Texans and the Redskins, you got to go with the Texans as number one. Look at that, 142 scored, only 38 points given up all year long. They're number one in my eyes. Between those other 4 win guys, I had to go with Redskins number 2, just with the way their performance has been consistent this year. Rams number 3, of course, defending Super Bowl champs. I go with the Vikings number 4. Their only loss was to us in Carolina. Well, actually, I go Ravens 4 and then Vikings 5. Being undefeated, he had an early bye, and he's really been dominating. You can see it on that points for, points against margin right there. Those are the top 5 teams in the league to my estimation. And then you go through that, you got a lot of 3-win teams here. Out of that grouping, number 6. You have to go up the Jaguars just because of the strength of their division, and being 3-1 so far is pretty good. Number 7, I go with the Browns. Their only loss is a forced loss, and you see they've scored 123 points in 4 games. Incredible numbers right there. Number 8, I go with the Jets. They're leading the AFC East at 3-1. Really good start so far to the season. Number 9, I am going to go with the, I had to put myself at number 9. I had 1 forced loss and then a 3-point loss to the Saints. Playing pretty well right now. And Cowboys, I go with 10. Good start to the season. First quarter at 3-1. Titans at 11. That roster is not great, but to be 3-1 with that roster and that division is awesome. Chargers at 12. Giving up a little bit more points than he usually does, but he'll get back in the rhythm. There's your top 12 teams. All right, 13. And we're into the 2-win teams now. This might take a while, but I'll go Colts at 13. Early bye. We've seen his talent. Obviously making the Super Bowl last year after joining mid-season. 14 Packers. Think he's off to a good start. Another early bye here. A lot of talent on that team as well. Giants, yeah, I'd go with them at 15. Good perennial playoff team since he can play at a normal rate. A lot of talent up there in New York. They'll, kick it into gear here soon. Seahawks at 16, really, really talented team. But to put them at 16, there are a lot of guys playing well this year, and that's a testament to you guys. Dolphins at 17, he's a really good player. perennially makes the playoffs. Saints at 18 in my estimation. Really talented team once again, especially on defense. I'll put the Bucks at 19. They got a lot of speed on offense, and they have some guys on defense that can make plays as well. Broncos at 20. They just knocked off the Chargers. That says all you need to know about them. Raiders at 21, right there in the thick of things in the AFC West. Those top 21 teams right there. You got 2 wins here. I think you're having a good season. Anyone below that, you may want to think about making some changes. So then the rest of them, guys have been struggling a little bit down below in the 1-win columns. But I have to put the Falcons next. They're a pain in the ass to play, and I say that in the most positive way. Defensively, they've got guys at every level of defense that you have to worry about. Offensively, they got some talent, but they just got to figure it out. Next, I'd probably go with the Bears next because they're a very strategic player. If they're on their game, if they don't turn the ball over, you're going to be in a tough game all night long. I'll go with the Bills next. I've seen a little bit of them playing. Not a bad player, but played some tough teams early on here. I'll go with the Bengals next. Had a 10-win season last year. Off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but I'm sure they'll turn it around real quick. I go with the 49ers next. He's been, the turnover bug is what kills him. If he doesn't turn the ball over, he's not an easy out by any means of the imagination. Eagles would be next. I already talked about them building in their division, getting rid of some guys, getting some more picks for the upcoming draft. I go with the Cardinals next. Still a good user on defense. Just got to get some things figured out on offense. I'd go with the Lions next. When they do play, they're not an easy out. He does a good job. Herbert, the young quarterback. I go with the Steelers next, and then finally we finish up with the Patriots, who are obviously have been CPU, but hopefully we'll have someone in here real soon for them. All right. We'll take a look at some early stat leaders across the league. Player stats, that's what you want. And we want to go everybody. Okay, I'll get back to passing. Alright, by yardage. Top passers, Jim Kiper, Austin Stout, Derek Carr, Andrew Luck, Harold Taylor. Top 5 passers in the league so far. Rushing, Nathan Blue, Kalen Ballage, Todd Gurley, Damian Harris, Saquon Barkley. Top receivers, and we'll do it by yardage. Tyreek Hill, Jarvis Landry, Tony Flash, DeAndre Hopkins, Cavante Turpin. Top receivers by yardage. And defensively, if it shows all the guys, which it doesn't sometimes, Chase Winovich, 11 sacks, leading the league. 5 of those came against the Steelers. Malik Pellerin, the Redskins, Jadeveon Clowney, Taquan Lewis, and Takk McKinley are your top sackers so far. League leaders in interceptions, Darren Lee. I know that's missing somebody, I thought. I don't think that's accurate, but anyway. Quincy Wilson, Babyface Thompson, Xavier Rhodes, Alan Winey, and Deion Jones, your top league interceptors. And we'll look at some team stats here real quick. Alright. Okay. Top offenses in the league: Vikings, Bucks, Broncos, Panthers, Dolphins. Top passing offenses: Vikings, Bucks, Panthers, Chargers, Giants. Top rushing offenses: Texans, Jets, Browns, Broncos, 49ers. Points per game offenses. Ravens, Texans, Browns, Vikings, Giants. Good job. All right, top defenses by yardage. Raiders, Ravens, Chiefs, Texans, Redskins. Top passing defenses. Ravens, Raiders, Redskins, Chiefs, Colts. Rush defenses, Texans, Chiefs, Cowboys, Saints, Broncos. Keep in mind, some of these are affected by buys. Points allowed, Texans, Redskins, Ravens, Cowboys, Panthers. Most sacks in the league, Redskins, Chargers, Eagles, Vikings, Raiders. Hit stick masters, Jets, Browns, Eagles, Broncos, Bucks. Interception leaders, Rams, Texans, Cowboys, Chargers, Chiefs. Good job, everybody. Most efficient teams in the league on third down. Big indicator of offensive production, Ravens, Texans, Seahawks, Saints, Vikings. Good job on that. Your third down percentage, you want it to be at least 50% or higher. All those teams above 50% usually have a winning record there for the most part. Scoring points in the red zone. Very important. Number one, most attempts. Who gets the ball down there the most? Saints, Rams, Dolphins, Chargers, 49ers. But when you convert, Titans always getting points. Falcons always getting points. Lions always getting points. Good job. Stopping people in the red zone. You want a low percentage. Look at that. 25% for the Texans. That's incredible. Chiefs 42, Rams 54, Packers 57, Cowboys 57, Bills 60. All good numbers right there. Turnovers. Most good teams have a positive differential here. 14, 14, 11, 9, 7. Good job right there. You see why the Texans are so good. Take care of the football. All right, am I missing anything else? I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover this week. Can't think of anything else. Just real quick, I'll go through a couple things. Once again, this year, we won't have any storyline players. I'm really trying to balance the league out as far as not being overly great. We got a couple teams that do really well in building their guys, of course, and then some that just don't build their guys well at all. So, that's why we have some good teams and then we have some bad teams. But, that's the way it is. Usually the guys that contribute with your articles on Daddy Leagues, remember, you can get up to 3 free development upgrades if you hit the 20 article mark. We had some new guys this year writing articles that are doing a great job, and then some of the same guys that have been doing it in the past continue to do a good job as well. That is all appreciated. We had some people noticing that we're an elite league on Daddy Leagues. I looked at that link, and for some reason we've moved all the way up, to the top. I think we only have one league above us right now on the elite league list, so we're doing an awesome job with that. I had someone reach out to me that was interested because of that, and they asked me why we were an elite league, and I told them, and they were just not a good fit overall, but we get recognized, at least for that. The Twitter stuff is kind of falling off. The Madden Accord people, they said that the website stuff that we were posting on, not a lot of people were looking at it. So, as far as marketing the league, I'm still trying to, figure out the best way. We are on League Crawler. The League Crawler is actually doing an award thing where people are voting for the best league, and, they got their favorites on there. We're not an option you can vote for. I clicked on it, and I was going to write us in, but you can't even write it in, so... I guess, I'll have to make friends and try to, get our name out there a little bit. But, I don't care about all that. But at the same time, I do want people to take notice of what we're doing here. One other thing I would like to look at, and if someone's good at graphics, please reach out to me, because I would like to find someone good at graphics and making things up for the league. We can do stuff with Recap Wizard and things, and it creates some basic stuff, but I would like to be able to create some original stuff. And then also, we can do broadcasting of games if someone has the right equipment, because there's a video on how to do it. I've broadcasted a couple games. I think I did a Super Bowl and I did a playoff game or something. And it's pretty cool, and I'll have some more time to do that. As long as we can schedule our games the right way, I can start jumping in and having some time to broadcast some games. And, it's fun to do that. So, just a couple thoughts I'm throwing out there here at the end. But if there's any other ideas you have for the league, please reach out, let me know. I'm always looking for different things to do. We'll continue to, of course, do our live shows and all that, and I'll try to get back into doing some of the other videos I did early in the beginning, with some analysis and things for storylines. So, alright guys, that's what I got. PEL Live, thanks for watching, and thank you so much for, your continued support of the PEL. Have a good night, guys. Appreciate it.